what is it that you do? My life was great till you added colors.
So hello from Glencoe. We're actually stood facing Buachaille Etive Mor. We think that's how you say it, Buachaille Etive. I've watched quite a few vlogs where people have pronounced it Buachaille. We say Etive. Again, I've heard some people say Etive. But anyway, we're here and we've set up and we've taken a couple of images already. I've gotten quite low down. The river is sort of coming in front of the lens, so that's why I wanted to get quite low. So I've used that as a bit of a foreground leading up to the mountain. But to be honest, I'm not entirely happy with the composition. I did bring my wellies down, but I'm just a bit worried about getting in the river, because more than likely I'll end up on my backside because the rocks are going to be probably quite wet and slippy, and I don't want to take the risk with my camera, with my filters and with the vlogging camera. So I've perched just at the edge of the riverbank and tried to get the best composition that I can. I've also done a pano, which I think I'm more pleased with. So I've maybe taken, I don't know, 8 or 9 images across the whole scene that when I flick through on the camera does look pretty good. I won't know until I stitch it together, but hopefully that'll work out. We're going to go and have a look a bit further downstream and see if we can come across another composition that I'm going to be a bit more happy with. The wind's picking up a little bit and it is quite cloudy. We've had nothing but 100% low cloud the whole time that we've been here, have we?
Yeah.
Which is nice, it's lovely. But it's actually the first time today that we've seen the top of Buachaille Etive, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's been pretty much covered all the way down, and we did contemplate maybe taking a shot, but I wanted to see the top, so today's the day. So yeah, we're going to hang around a bit. Fingers crossed it doesn't rain. I'll show you the setup in a second, and we'll go and have a little wander and see what we can find. So this is where I'm perched. You can see the camera set up in the background. On my camera I've got a polarizing filter and a 3-stop ND. I did put a 6-stop on initially, but it was smoothing the water out too much and I wanted to see the detail really. So I changed filters out, but it's right to experiment a little bit and just see what's giving you the best in terms of shutter speed and filters. But I reckon I could just sit here all day and just watch. The cloud is just sort of gently passing over the top of the mountain, and I think the sound of the water is quite therapeutic. I mean, we always end up near the water, somewhere near the water. I don't think I'm quite straight there. We always end up somewhere near the water, but I think that's just because we like it so much. So we've used the last but one of our drone batteries today. A little bit annoyed with Argos because I went to pick up the charger this morning to discover that it hadn't actually arrived in and won't come in until tomorrow. Tomorrow is Thursday, so yeah, we'll just have to get the little bit of drone footage that we can with what we've got and charge them when we get home. So we've moved downstream a little bit and settled on another composition. So again, I've got some rocks in the foreground with the water sort of coming through and the mountain in the background. the cloud's just clinging to the top of the mountain and the light is just desperately trying to come out. Gonna probably just hang around maybe just for another minute or two and see whether that light does catch on the mountain or on the cloud. Just keeping an eye on the exposure time on this one, because again I've done a couple of like 2-second exposures. I've just done a 2-minute exposure just to see what detail, what movement in the cloud that'll give me. But because the cloud is so dense, it's just merging everything. So I'm going to try a bit of a shorter long exposure and see what that gives me. It's just lovely, absolutely lovely. My leg's right numb. Right, okay. So that's it really from here. We're going to go down to the hidden waterfalls of Glencoe. The light is looking a lot better across there. We didn't get any light at all on Buachaille Etive Mor, but again it's nice because it's quite moody and quite dramatic. The long exposures that I've taken, as I say, the cloud, because it's quite dense, it's not really picking it up. I might be able to do a little bit with the editing side of things to bring that sky out a little bit more. But I was using on that shot a 6-stop ND that was giving me a 2-minute I had a 0.6 soft grad and a 0.9 soft grad just to try and really bring that down, because although it's quite moody, there's patches of the sky that's quite bright, although there's no light on the mountain. But it's nice. I think the shot will turn out okay. So yeah, we're going to pack up, get back in the car, head 10 minutes down to Glencoe and hopefully get some light. Okay, so we've just arrived at the hidden waterfalls of Glencoe. We've driven past this magnificent scene probably, how many times?
Lost count.
Probably 20, at least 20 times,
yeah,
I reckon,
yeah.
If not more, back and forth as we've passed through Glencoe. And I've always been intrigued as to what lies beneath. I've seen a few images from this area that look quite nice, so we're going to go down and explore and see if we can get our own take. Might take the classic shot as well, but have a look for something a bit different. But yeah, what time are we now? We're 20 past 2. The light is better down here than it's been sort of across on Rannoch Moor. Hopefully by the time that we get down there, there'll still be enough light. Hopefully as well, even more, there might be a little bit of colour. There is, at the moment anyway, some gaps in the cloud, so you can see a little bit of blue sky, grey and
Cloud.
a bit of lighter cloud where the sun is just catching it a little bit. So fingers crossed, we'll see what we get. So we've been walking for around 15 minutes so far. The path is quite uneven, but at least there's a path. So we're going to carry on and hopefully find the hidden waterfalls before it goes dark. I mean, the reason that we've chose this location is that it's better down this end for sunset, but hopefully we'll get a bit of light. If not, we'll be quick, take the image and see what we get. So the waterfalls are that hidden, we can't bloody find them. We'll crack on, we'll press on and see what we can get. So we've got a choice. We've just come to some staircase that leads down towards the waterfalls, but we're not entirely sure where we're going. Bit of crap planning, to be fair, on my part. but it's coming up to 3 o'clock and it's probably going to be going dark soon, and I reckon we've still got another half hour to walk down and find where we need to be. We've then got to get set up and take the shot. So we've made the decision to come away and try again another day. It's probably my fault that I faffed around as much as I did over at Buachaille. But you've got to be safe, you've got to still take into account your own safety and make sure that you can walk to and from wherever you're taking an image comfortably and safely. The path is very uneven and I just don't want to take that risk for either of us. So we were on our way back to the car. It's 25 past 3 and there's just a little bit of colour coming in the sky. So just behind us we've got a big patch of blue sky and there's a little bit of orange appearing, which is really, really nice. It's the first hint of any colour that we've seen so far. Across this side it's a little bit different. You've got the layers in the cloud, so there's a bit of grey, there's a hint of blue and there's a hint of orange. So I've just really quickly thrown the tripod up and tried to have a look for a quick composition, just so that we don't miss the little bit of colour that we've got. It's not brilliant, but I've got one of the 3 sisters of Glencoe in shot. But we've got a little bit of time yet. I think sunset's around 10 to 4. So I'm going to take another shot this way and then have a look to see if we can find something else. So we've got some lovely colour just appeared at the side of one of the 3 sisters. The thing that I'm struggling with a little bit is because that little piece of sky is quite bright, I want to make sure that it's evenly exposed and that we're getting that movement in the cloud. I'm using a Nisi 0.9 medium grad and a 0.9 soft grad just to bring it down, but obviously we're getting the mountain a little bit dark, which I should be able to lift a little bit in editing. But it is really nice. They're turning out quite decent, which I'm happy about.
Boom for that.
I'm boom for that. Yeah, we're just starting to lose that colour a little bit now. But as I say, we were just on our way back to the car and just stuck around just for a minute just to see whether we would get anything, and I'm glad that we did. And again, I know I've said in a previous video about not planning. I think this whole video has been a perfect example of not planning. But sometimes it's nice to just have the unexpected, come across a little scene. I'm not entirely happy with the composition. I've not really got much foreground, but I think because the sky is nice and there's that movement in the cloud, I'm hoping anyway that that'll be enough to make the image. We'll see. As always, if I'm happy with them, I'll put them up to let you have a look. So that's the last of the colour. It's gone to bed for tonight. We've packed up and we're going to head back now and just have a look at the images, and hopefully we've got something worth sharing anyway. It just doesn't hang around for long at all, but really nice little treat to see a bit of colour just on the walk back to the car. As I said, it's the first little bit of colour that we've seen all week, so we had to take an image.
We'll take it.
So yeah, we've had a lovely day again. We've probably said goodbye about 3 times already, but really no, we will say goodnight, and thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Adios.
Adios.